NBA front office's Scott Perry. Hello.
Hello.
So many questions that still need to be answered, but none more interesting than what happens in the West, because y'all, the West is wild. And Ramona, it is March, and for the Lakers, every game matters this month. So let's highlight all of their successes so far as of late. Lakers versus the Thunder early in the second quarter. Watch this. I mean, what? Off of a Thunder miss, LeBron James, what does he do, Ramona?
Gets out in transition, gets downhill.
And I thought he set the tone physically right with that play right there.
I don't know how many people would want to get in front of all of that. Now, off of another Thunder miss, D'Angelo Russell, he finds who? A big streaking through the middle of the lane. One Anthony Davis. The Lakers are clearly capitalizing.
Who's the younger team? Getting out in transition, getting up and down the court.
Fresh legs after All-Star. Now 20 seconds left in the half. Lakers up 49-43. SGA, he loses the ball, and then watch this beautiful give and go right here.
D'Angelo with that touch pass. He's got the touch shot now. They really got a rhythm going between him.
They do, but the Thunder did not. The Thunder shot 30.6% from the field in the first half, tied for their worst half this season. Now heading to the third quarter. I mean, the shots were going down. Reeves from the corner, he misses this, but no one can stop AD in the paint.
I mean, there's 1-on-4. He gets the rebound and the putback.
That's big boy basketball.
Big boy, grown man basketball. Speaking of that right there, almost a touchdown pass. He's able to handle it and throw it down there. Lakers out-rebounded the Thunder 55-38, but this is my favorite part of the game, right? D'Angelo Russell right there knocks down 1-3. This is the fourth quarter. And then was it DJ Khaled? Another one. But my favorite play, D'Lo has 3 threes in 66 seconds. LeBron's like, take the ball here, cook. This is an ultimate heat check.
I mean, that is a good contest right there from J-Dub, too.
Yeah, and I think that's what the young guys call being in your bag.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
In his Birkin, the Lakers win 116-104. D'Lo with 26. LeBron, 19, right? AD, 24. Lakers are now 3-1 against the Thunder this season. Here's AD right after the game.
You know, in the event we don't get top 6, you know, you got to go through the whole play-in kind of process again. You know, we don't really care what, you know, seed we in. We proven that last year. It doesn't matter. I think this goes with anyone. You know, you just try to get in, and then, you know, playoffs is a different animal. So, you know, we don't look at it as, you know, we'd rather have this matchup than this matchup. You know, for us, it's just about getting in and tackling each opponent from there.
Some hard-fought wins by the Lake squad. The Lakers have the 8th toughest remaining strength of schedule by opponent win percentage, including a pair of games left against the Timberwolves and Bucks. Now, the Lakers, they have 19 games left in the regular season. They've won 7 of 10 as of late, but they still sit, Brett, 9th in the West. So LA hasn't moved up in the standings since late December. So, Zach, do you think that the Lakers are primed right now for a playoff push?
Primed for what?
A playoff push.
Can we table the whole Lakers playoff run thing until they're at least 8th? Can we table it until they're in the top half of the play-in bracket? Because right now they're in the losers bracket of the play-in tournament, which means they have to win 2 games just to get into the playoffs and know who their matchup is. Their point differential for the season is -21. They have been outscored for the season. Yes, they're playing better. They are finally starting the right lineup. That is a step in the right direction. They're tough. They're physical. Anthony Davis is playing as well this season as he has in almost any point in his career. In any one game, they can beat 7 games. And right now, before we talk about all these highfalutin discussions about how far the Lakers can get, are they ready for a playoff push? Can we just get to 8th, please? 8th. And then we can have a better discussion.
Okay, director of grouchiness. I see that in your title. I mean, look.
It's not grouchiness. It's director of reality. This is reality. The Lakers are 9th.
Look, I was at the game last night when D'Lo hit those 3 threes. There was no reality other than he was having a heat check, and it felt like those same good vibes that they got going. Then in the stretch run last year, we're coming back in the building. Now, it was lost on nobody that the Thunder was playing on the second night of a back-to-back. They didn't have their legs. But it also is lost on nobody that this would be a very difficult first-round matchup and could be the first-round matchup. If the Lakers do get to 8th, if the Thunder win the West, that's your 1-8 matchup. And the Lakers are a tough out because of their size, because of their star power, and especially when they get things rolling defensively. I think what struck me most about this game was the Lakers look like the younger, fresher team. And yes, again, the Thunder, second night of a back-to-back, but the Lakers shut down the Thunder's transition offense. The Lakers were the ones getting out and running. The Lakers were the ones getting their defense set, and it changed the whole dynamic of the game when the Thunder was not able to put their style of play on the much older and more veteran team.
Look, to me, the Lakers just have to focus on being consistent right now. I know you talked about them playing the Thunder on back-to-back last night, but the Thunder have been the best in the league in playing back-to-backs, and they're a young team. The Lakers imposed their will. They played physical against them. The Lakers can match up with any team in the Western Conference not named the Denver Nuggets. And so right, because they're 0-8 against the Nuggets, and in their last 8 tries. That is the team they probably need to avoid early on in the playoffs. But I think if they continue to get consistent play out of D'Angelo Russell, which is key, he's had a big-time February. And I think, we know what we're going to get out of LeBron and AD, how they played this year. You get Jared Vanderbilt back from a defensive perspective. I still see this as a very dangerous team. I don't care that they're sitting in 9th spot right now. When it's all said and done, I agree with Anthony Davis. They just need to get in. Once they get in, they're going to figure a way to be one of those 8 teams playing in the playoffs.
And they found consistent success, especially with the starting lineup of AD, Hachimura, James, Russell, and Reeves. But really, honestly, this Lakers and Thunder's matchup could very well be how the first round of the playoffs shake out. So let's welcome in the best in the business, Tim Legler. Tim, what did you see out there last?
Well, Sinead, last night Anthony Davis took advantage of, I think, the one thing we can question about the Oklahoma City Thunder, that size on the front line. And when he's playing with this level of determination, he's a problem, not just for the Thunder, but really for the entire Western Conference. Take a look at some of the examples of how exactly he took advantage of that. And here you go, up the floor. And I like this one because Anthony Davis is coming up the floor, and I think he's thinking about going over and setting a ball screen. But as you can see, his eyes are up right now, and this is what he's looking at right here. This is his defender, Mike Muscala, and he's looking at him, and he sees how high he is on the floor. And more importantly, he sees these 2 defenders that are high, backpedaling, but not in a dead sprint, which means there's a lot of room back here behind that last defender. So I want you to watch Anthony Davis sprint right past Muscala. Right there, he takes off, and now that ball's just going to be thrown up in the air. And with Anthony Davis, you can throw it pretty much anywhere. It's exactly what happens here. The catch, the dunk, great read on his part to see there was not enough backline defense on that. And this one, the Lakers want to run this action right here where you're going to get a double screen for LeBron James. Anthony Davis setting the second one. They love this pat action. LeBron will take this all the way over to the right wing, see what they can get out of it. But Anthony Davis observes something. He sees that the defender right here, Chet Holmgren, his weight and body is in this direction. So now Anthony Davis, as he comes in to set this screen, he's just going to slip it. So now as LeBron James comes over here, there's going to be a gap in a pocket to make this pass along the baseline for Anthony Davis to catch, receive, and finish. There aren't a lot of guys, Sinead, that are going to catch this basketball in traffic, on the move, and still get up something on balance at the rim. Anthony Davis is elite in that regard, and that's exactly what he does. So he took advantage of certain situations in this game. And by the way, this is no longer as AD goes, the Lakers go, because AD has been going every night. We're not seeing some of the inconsistency we saw in the postseason a year ago. That is a great sign for the Lakers going forward, Sinead.
Thanks, Tim. Don't go too far. And you are absolutely correct. AD continued to dominate OKC, now averaging 27 points and 13 rebounds per game against the Thunder this season, while leading the Lakers to a 3-1 series victory. You can see all of those big numbers that he put up against OKC right there. Now, let's talk about the Thunder side of things because, Zach, we all sat here at the trade deadline almost a month ago and said that if the Thunder were truly trying to make a postseason push, they needed some depth in the front court. Now, they did pick up Gordon Hayward. They did pick up Bismack Biyombo, but in the paint, AD exposed them last night. How vulnerable are the Thunder in a playoff series?
It's going to depend on the matchups, but yeah, it's a disappointment that 7 games in, Gordon Hayward has provided essentially nothing for the Thunder. They're going to need something from him. They're going to need him to play more, to score more, maybe even to close some games for them. But sure, the Thunder are vulnerable. to the wrong matchup. They're vulnerable to teams with size. But other teams are vulnerable to what they do and what they do well, which is space the floor around the best off-the-dribble creator, maybe the entire NBA, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with shooting all around him. They're going to be a problem in the playoffs. Like any Western Conference team outside of probably the Nuggets, they could lose in the first round or make the conference finals. But I'm not going to read in too much to a loss at a desperate Lakers team on a back-to-back and say they're suddenly vulnerable to this matchup or that matchup. Let's see the matchups happen first, because we're going to project this series to happen in the first round, OKC Lakers. Let's see the Lakers get out of the play-in before we start assuming they're going to upset teams in the first round.
I mean, look, they gave up 31 rebounds to Yusuf Nurkic on the front end of that back-to-back. Then they have AD. I can go through the Western Conference and say teams that have size that would be an issue for the Thunder. But this was their choice. And if you ask their decision makers, why didn't you go get somebody to just be a big? Go in there, somebody to counter Jokic. Go in there to get countered Nurkic or AD. Their answer is, well, that clogs up the space. Because so much of the way the Thunder play are 5 out, everybody, and there's space for Shai, there's space for J-Dub, there's space for everybody to drive into the lane. If you get a big who is going to be in that lane, then they're not able to play the way they want to. And I think, look, that first round, that matchup, let's say it's the Lakers, let's say it's Phoenix, let's say, you're right, Zach, it does depend on the matchup. If they go an early out, maybe they have to readjust their